Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel, 90 View on Things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. Need to show you something very quickly. Made a video the other day, shine on you crazy diamond. No views, 1 like. Needed to take a screenshot. The next video I released was another eclipse 39 days later. 1 view, 4 likes. How was that at all possible? YouTube censoring me. Playing with my views, not actually showing my videos. So if you don't mind, please share my videos. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that button. If you are subscribed, make sure you hit this notification bell, because you might actually get to see my next video if they don't unsubscribe you like many other people seem to be unsubscribing. And I think it's down to YouTube. They would never do that now, would they? Censorship at its best. Just an update for everybody. Jeff hasn't just disappeared. Unfortunately, his computer is broken and he's waiting for parts. He will be back out there doing videos, doing live streams very shortly. And I really do look forward to that live stream with you, Jeff. Just to let everybody know, in case you're worried. Before we get to the main part of the video, I need to show you something that I think is very important. Donny of Daytona. I'll leave the links to this video in the description box down below. Nice and simple for everybody to find. Breaking news, the most impressive discovery of 2019. I think that title is an understatement. At the point of making this video, there's 2,079 views. 439 people like it and 15 people dislike it. For me, this actually proves that there's 1,500 people out there that you couldn't possibly wake up, no matter what you show them. But for me, this is one of those sort of videos that you could show to a non-believer and they would go, what am I looking at? There is something wrong there. We could spend the next hour discussing what we're looking at, and for me, I've got my own theories. But it just shows there is technology in our skies hiding the incoming planets. 100%. If you haven't seen this video, please go over and have a look. What I would like you to do, even if you have seen this video, please share the link to it with everybody you know, because I think this is one of the most important videos that I've seen in a long time. We're going to be looking at the FAA Aviation Weather Cameras. I'll leave the links to this in the description box down below. Nice and simple for everybody to find. I also would like to thank Natural Born Rebel for sending these pictures over. Let's have a look at where they're from. We're going to be looking at Gambell. To your left over here is Russia. To your right over here is Canada. Nearest point to Russia by the looks of things. We're going to be looking in this direction. Bering Sea. Quick look at the satellite, and yeah, Bering Sea, 177 degrees south. Unfortunately, the cameras are not working at this particular moment in time. They're undergoing maintenance. What a surprise. These are used for pilots. They can check the weather and all the other little bits and pieces. Let's have a look at a daytime photograph. There's the end of the runway. We've got water. There's light there. It's red. Have a quick look at the map. South, 177 degrees. Let's have a quick look at the site information. And as you can see, all the information you need is there. Longitude, latitude, elevation, and when sunrise and sunset is. We're going to be looking at 30 pictures, and the interval between the pictures is 10 minutes. Every picture is totally different to the next one. And you're going to see that, apart from a number of these pictures have the same things and are consistent. This light here and this object here. I'm going to just breeze through these because what I'm going to do is stick a filter on these pictures and it certainly changes things. If I had to describe the next 30 pictures for you, the way I would describe it is the camera has dropped some magic mushrooms and is definitely on a trip. And I do think that is the best description of what we're just about to look at. Let's have a look at this picture very quickly. We can see that there's 2 defined colours here. There is a green and there is a blue. Our red light's down there. This is lit up and we've got this object here. We've also got this donut here. Have we seen this sort of thing before? And yes, we'll talk about that very, very shortly. Let's have a look at the next picture. 10 minutes later, what do we get to see? Near enough an identical image, but the colour is red. RGB. Red, green, blue. That's what you get in CRT televisions and plasma screens. Now that couldn't be possible, could it? 10 minutes later the picture changes and we can still see the donut just here. We've still got this object here and we've still got this object here. The camera's red. Looks like there's a mist or a fog in the background. It looks very, very orangey red. 10 minutes later we get this picture. This one looks very, very normal. This is the sort of thing I would expect to see if there's a bright light like a torch shining through the sky and lighting up the mist, because it does look a little bit misty. That's what I'm going to say. The picture 10 minutes later, we have no light, but we have this green object here and we can see the outline of that donut just there. Look at the lens flare. Oh, it looks like a flower. Then 10 minutes later you've got this picture here. You can still see the outlines and you can see the donut just here. The outline of that object and the outline of that object. 3 different colours though. Reddy, orange, yellow, well, white. There are many different colours there. But a thing not to be seen on a camera, I'm sure. 10 minutes later the picture changes yet again. We've got this beam of light and I think this is something to do with these lights here. Maybe a plane landing. Don't forget this is a runway. And yeah, maybe a landing light for the plane. Who knows? 10 minutes later, yet again, quite a normal picture. And then we get this object. Look at this. Yep, we've got multiple colours going on here. We've got a purple and we can see the outlines of all these objects. It seems to be very, very consistent through many different pictures. And then 10 minutes later we get quite a normal picture. The picture turns blue, so we've got RGB consistently and also we've got these objects consistently. Yeah, very, very interesting. Green, blue, turquoisey. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Yet again red. We're getting to see the same thing consistently over and over again. We can see the donut here. Yeah, and it seems to be moving at this stage, tumbling backwards. Many colours going on. Are we looking at a projected image of some type or description? That couldn't be possible. We can see the outlines of these objects just here. What is making the camera do that? And we get a little bit of light going on up there. Quite a normal picture. Like I said, has the camera been taking psychedelic drugs? Time on the picture is 7:15. Last time we got to see something similar to this was 5:45. These are marker lights for the end of the runway. There's the red light to show the plane exactly where the end of the runway is. There's the landing light, or the light to show the plane that there's water. So yeah, that's very, very consistent. We've seen that twice. Next picture. This just reminds me of 2 objects in the lens flare. One here and one here. This could be quite far way back, and this one, yeah, they're both patterned. It's something that shouldn't be on camera. And down here we can make outlines of something else. Are there 3 objects, one after the other? That's a little bit strange. 10 minutes later we get exactly the same thing, but in blue, darker blue. So yeah, RGB, are they projecting something into the sky, or is something else being projected back onto the camera of the lens? That is more likely. And really, to be truthful, that has to be the sanest picture we've seen all night. That's where it actually stops, because they just get crazier and crazier, and the light looks like a dancing man. Why are we getting this effect? That's what needs to be asked. So again, the next picture, and we get to see these objects in the air. They look like aircraft. Have they taken off from down here? No, I don't think so, because they're too straight. They would be going in that sort of general direction. And there seems to be quite a few. What are we looking at? Are we looking at transportation devices? Whatever you like to call them, UFOs. Maybe buckets, they're transportation devices. And then you've got this object here, and this object here. Very, very red. What is this light doing on here? Maybe they're helicopters. That might be the answer. But I've never seen those type lights on commercial aircraft. Yet again, the next picture, and everything seems to change. We have these objects coming well, really, what is going on? Lenses. Is this a lens system that's in place? And everything's being projected backwards onto the camera. Yet again, we get this other type picture, which happens to be RGB. And yeah, we've got these objects here. There seems to be, well, aircraft? I don't think so. And then 10 minutes later, you can see it's starting to get light, but we've got these objects flying through the air. It looks like there's fleets and fleets of them. So for the last 4 pictures, 40 minutes, we've seen these objects flying through the sky. Are they leaving? Are they coming? That's a question for you. And if they're leaving, somebody knows something. That's all I've got to say. Of course, these are all camera abnormalities. They're lens flares in the middle of the night. That's an interesting one. Object. You can see the other object there. You can see the donut here. And we've got a star. You can see it's getting lighter and lighter. So let's have a look at these pictures through a filter called Equalize. Many of you have seen this before. But for those people that don't know, what it does, it brings all the colour, contrast, brightness and saturation points all to the same level and brings out things that we can't see. It doesn't put anything in, it doesn't take anything out. If we got a normal picture and we use Equalize, nothing changes. So for it to be there, it has to be there in the first place. So does that actually make any sense? So let me show you the red spinning lens flare, and I'm going to stick a filter on it called Equalize. Lens flares don't spin, that is for sure. And you can see that donut effect I'm talking about just there. The red sun flashes. Black dot sun simulator. Shown this many different times. Lens flare. So let's have a look at the same clip through the filter Equalize. As you can see, it defines everything a little bit more. And just about here, you can see the donut starting to take effect. Just there, the inside of it. And there, the outside. This is a lensing system up in the sky, and it's being projected backwards onto the camera. And it looks very, very similar to what we've just been looking at. You can see the definition just there between these two objects. Well, these 3 objects. This spinning lens flare, of course, yeah, nothing in our skies. Camera abnormalities. That's a raindrop on a pair of glasses. Oh, good grief. But yes, there seems to be correlation between this image and the images that we're looking at. And as you can see, with the red spinning planet with the filter Equalize on, we get that donut effect. And we can see one here. This looks a little bit bigger, so is this a little bit closer? I just can't even get my head around that I'm talking about lens flares at night. Previous experience tells me that it's coming from this direction. So we are looking at a projected image, but they're not lens flares, they're something else. Here's the original picture, and this object here, you can see how many different colours it's got in it. It reminds me of something. You know those wall balls that you used to make when you were younger? If you're old enough, like me, you'll remember. Cut 2 bits of cardboard and you roll the wall round and make it really, really big, different colours. Then what you do is cut it in half, get the old ball and then tighten it together and then trim the ball up. And hey presto, you get something looking like a shagpole carpet, a round ball. Is this actually in our sky being hidden? What I mean is this new technology, or is this not exactly what we think it might be? Could this be a spaceship? Is this a stage upon a stage of maybe hologram technology to hide something? Don't forget, what we're looking at is pictures at night, and it really doesn't make any sense. You can still see that object here. Yeah, everything is normal. And yeah, we still get this object here. And then we get this picture here. What are we looking at? We can see that the object is still there, that top object. But what is going on with the camera? Of course, yeah, it's an upside down, well, it looks like a, well, I ain't got a clue what it looks like. Something that should be on camera, that's for sure. And yet again, as I was talking about equalise being normal, this is about the normal you can get. You can see there isn't very much difference. What I would expect to see if there was light on, because our eyes can't see that well. You can just about make it out there, and that's what we're getting here. Yet again, some sort of normality, but the sky looks a bit strange. And we get this colour object just here, and we get this bright object here. And don't forget, every picture, this is exactly the same colour. We get something just here, look, I don't know if you can see. And yet again, we get this object here, same colours, yeah, blue. So I'm looking at a projection of something that's in the sky. Yet again, the camera whites out, and you can see just here, that object there, cartoony sky. And just here we can see something just here. It just looks absolutely normal compared to the rest of the pictures. Yet again, you can see what equalise does. It doesn't really change the picture, it just puts it all into context for us, if that makes any sense. Yet again, we get the same object, same colours, and in this one it's orange, but yeah, the colours are nicely brought out for us. So we're not looking at lens flares, that's just impossible because they're nighttime photographs. We've got this object up here, and yeah. And yet again, here's something quite strange. We get this patterning down here, but you can see there, well, we've got this object here, and this object here, you can see. And we've got two lights just here. And well, whatever's happening in this picture seems to be happening in this picture as well, but we can get to see this object here. Near enough every single picture we can get to see this red light. And as you can see, we've got our object here, which we know is our light, our red light, but what a very strange thing to see. As you can well see, it looks very, very alien to me. We know it's a light. And then we got our object here, still got that colour, looks like it's out of focus a little bit. I'm beginning to think that this is a light source of some type of description. And like I say, are we looking at a hologram projection system that's up in the sky, hiding something and not what we think it is? Because, being truthful, why are we getting these objects flying through our sky? And then we get this picture, 1 lens, 2 lens, 3 lens, 4 lens, and we get this object here, and we can see the other object just here. And there seems to be a lot of craft flying through the sky. Just a normal thing to see. Yet again, we get to see this object here, and these craft flying. And then we get to see this. Well, yeah, totally normal. And just another thing I need to point out, look at where these craft are flying. Just here there appears to be something in our sky. They're all flying to one side. Let's have a look at the next picture. And just here, They all seem to be on this side, none on this side. Is this a cloud we're looking at, or is this an object in our sky? Oh, of course, it's a cloud. So what I can say for certainty, we're looking at technology in our skies that's being projected backwards onto the lens of the camera. We're not looking at lens flares per se, but I think what we're looking at is a hologram system that's in place. Is this that other object? Is that at all possible? Is this a party of, well, visitors, if you like, or is there something majorly going on? Well, every picture, every camera, every video, everything is just faulty, and this just proves it. Really, is this that object? Or maybe this object is a craft, a UFO. Maybe it's not a planet at all. Who knows? I'll leave that for you to decide. What I can tell you, it shouldn't be on camera, that's for sure. Any rate, that's all I've got for you now. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.